Hey, Todd Welch here from Amazon Storage Pros, and today we're going to go over all the basics with Amazon warehousing and distribution, Amazon AWD, and how you can use it to decrease your storage costs, get rid of those inbound placement fees and all that nonsense. AWD is essentially a 3PL that Amazon has created themselves, where you can send in your inventory and then auto replenish your FBA inventory to make sure you don't run out of stock. And also, most importantly to me anyways, is to be able to send all of your stock to one location and not have to break it up into 5 different locations or else pay the crazy inbound placement fee. So let's go ahead and take a look at an account, AWD, and we'll walk you through how you can set it up in your account as well. All right, so this is a Seller Central account that we manage. And we've got a bookmark here for warehousing and distribution, but after you log in, you're probably going to end up at a screen on your homepage here. And you can click onto the sandwich menu in the upper left corner and then go to inventory. And under inventory, you've got warehousing and distribution, AWD. If you want to make a bookmark to it, you can click this little bookmark right there, and you can see it's adding it right up here for me. But if I go ahead and click on it, it's going to take me to the warehousing and distribution screen. Now, if for some reason they changed something and it's not in that location, you can also find it by going to growth and then explore programs. And if you scroll down here, you've got warehousing and distribution right here. That's going to take you over to the exact same location as well. So any one of those, but once you have the bookmark, then you have it right here at the top also. Now on this screen, you've got 3 different main sections for Amazon warehousing and distribution. So you've got number 1 where you can create a shipment. Very similar to sending into FBA, you can send into AWD and create a shipment using the send to Amazon workflow. You can track shipments there as well. Step 2 here, you can view the inventory that you have in AWD already. Step 3, you can move SKUs, move inventory from AWD into FBA, or very cool as well, you can move it to third-party platforms. You could move it to Walmart. They'll even put the Walmart labels on there for you. Or you could send it to a retail partner, or perhaps you sell in bulk to retail partners, and you could send it that way as well. They'll even slap on the labels, as I said, for you if you need additional labels. You just provide those PDFs and they'll slap those on there for you. And then this last one is track your replenishments. So that's going to be restocking FBA from AWD. So they have AWD warehouses, a few of them around the country right now on the East Coast, West Coast, and then Central. And from the AWD warehouses, they can send into the FBA warehouses for you. And you can even set up auto replenishments so that the AI system will learn how your product sells and then send case packs in as you need them to a FBA from AWD. And that's one important point to remember of AWD. Everything right now has to be in case packs. You can't be sending in single items to AWD or mixed boxes to AWD. Everything has to be case pack boxes. So let's go ahead and walk through step number 1 here. We'll go through creating a shipment, and we'll go through that, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. So we'll just click on create a shipment, and I'm going to make myself a little smaller here. So if you're familiar with sending into Amazon FBA, you're probably going to be familiar with this screen as well, where you can see all your products that you're going to send in. Now, AWD, again, is case pack. So you can see the products that we have here are all in case pack boxes already. But if you had a new product, you would not have this information set up yet. But right now, as you can see, all of our products are already set up except for these ones down here. So if we wanted to, you're going to have to, if you want to send this product in, for example, you're going to have to create a new packing template. So you're going to want to click on Create New Packing Template, and then you get the template a name. So this one, we'll name it Test, and we'll say that there are 20 units per box, and the box is 12 by 15 by 20, let's say, and that is going to weigh 25 pounds. If you need any kind of prepping for your products, you can enter that here. But we have all of our prepping done by the manufacturer, so we're going to leave that no prep needed. And then if for some reason you wanted Amazon to label your products and you weren't able to have your manufacturer do that, or do that before getting to them, you could set that to pay them the 55 cents per unit to do that. Or you can leave that set by seller, that you're already taking care of that. Hopefully you're just using the manufacturer barcode when you're adding these products, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you have it set to use Amazon labels, then you probably want to have your manufacturer put those on if possible. If not possible, then you're going to have to do it yourself or have Amazon do it for 55 cents. So we'll go ahead and save that. And you can see now we've got this test here. And now this ASIN does require labels. That's why it's telling me to print the SKU labels. This is a used item, so that's why we didn't have this set up yet to send in. But if you wanted to, you could print your SKUs right there. And then we could tell it we're going to send in 20 boxes, which is 400 units. And we can say that is ready to send. Okay. So my mistake. That's right. You currently cannot send in these auto-created SKUs that are grade and resell SKUs. So we're going to remove that and get to a different one here. So it looks like I don't have any that are not grade and resell that haven't been set up. So we'll go ahead and use this one here. 50 units per box, no prep required, units prepped by seller, manufacturer barcode. So we'll say we're going to send 10 boxes of that for 500 units. And now if we scroll up here, you can see where it's going to be shipping from. So make sure that is the correct address that you're shipping from. And then you can set where you want it to ship to. So if you click change, you can select which coast you want to send to, or the central. So East Coast, West Coast, Central. And so you can set those yourself, or you can do Amazon assigned, and Amazon will send it to what it thinks is the best location, which is not the best for you necessarily. It's going to be the best for Amazon, so keep that in mind. If you are on the West Coast, your 3PL's on the West Coast, or wherever your product's coming from is coming from the West Coast, pick the West Coast, East Coast, Central is better, select that as well. So pick the one that's going to be best for you is ideal. Unless they've got some kind of deal going on. If we scroll up to the top here, they'll typically tell you if they've got some kind of deal going on, which they don't currently. They are experiencing record volumes currently, so they don't have the lower rates at the moment, but sometimes they'll run specials up here if you send to a certain location. So you might want to keep an eye on that and change to that location if it makes sense, if it's going to be cheaper, adding in shipping and everything else. So let's scroll down here. We've got these 10 boxes ready to send in. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom and going to hit confirm and continue. And now we are on to the confirm shipping screen, and we're going to say, okay, these are going to be ready to ship on Friday, and we're going to be shipping a less than truckload or a full truckload. You could also do SPD. Amazon is guesstimating on how big of a pallet, how many pallets this is going to take, and how many boxes it's going to take, which is obviously 10. and it's estimating at 1 pallet. So I'm going to scroll back and just let's change this to 2 pallets just so I can show you what that's going to look like. So let's change that to 30 boxes and confirm that. All right, so now we've got to the confirm shipping step, and we can do either small parcel delivery, UPS, or less than truckload or full truckload, and Amazon has already guesstimated how much they think that's going to take based on their guesstimation of the number of pallets that these 30 boxes are going to take up. Now, if you're a master in your logistics and you know that these 30 boxes I know fit perfectly on a 48 by 40 by 72 maximum height pallet. I don't want it to be 2 pallets. It needed to be on 1. Then on the next step here, we're going to be able to make changes to that. But if everything else looks good, you've got your shipping date entered correctly. So we've got it scheduled to pick up on Friday, but you can pick whatever day. You can go ahead and confirm destination. Now, I did notice here we've assigned a different region than your preferred region due to capacity constraints. So this will happen sometimes, especially now going into Q4. They're getting tight on space, so they're forcing us to send into the Texas location, South Central. So just keep an eye on that. They don't make it very big there to let you know, but it is sending to a different location. So let's go ahead and confirm the shipping destination. All right, so now here is where we can print our box labels and basically setting up the pallet just like we did in the past. But these are box labels, of course, so they're going on individual case packs. So if you're familiar with Send to Amazon for FBA, this is the step where you'd be printing the box labels for the boxes sending into FBA. And you can go ahead and just verify everything here, the ship date, everything looks good. Right now, unfortunately, they only allow you to send on or print on A4 paper for the box labels, which I don't understand why, because when you get to print the shipping labels and the pallet labels, you can do it on 4x6, but here it's only A4. So what I'm going to do in the show notes, in the comments down below, I'll put a link to another video that's going to show you how to resize this A4 paper so that you can print it on a 4x6 label printer if that's what you're using in your warehouse. But if we go ahead and hit print here, you're going to notice that it's a little bit different. So this is what the label is going to be looking like. So it's a little bit different than your box labels, well, quite a bit different than your box labels for sending to FBA. So just keep that in mind. This is what your AWD box labels are going to look like. You've got your FNSKU. So in this case, it's the ASIN because we're using the manufacturer barcode. Your SKU from that you entered into Seller Central. So make sure you're using a descriptive SKU ideally because you don't have any other information on here. So hopefully you've used descriptive SKUs. If not, you might want to set more descriptive SKUs up so you know what the box label is for. Quantity, the location that it's going to be sending into, and then a barcode for Amazon to scan. All right, so once you print those labels, you can go ahead and continue to confirm the carrier. But quick, if you wanted to, if you hit view or edit contents, this is kind of your last chance to change the weight and dimensions of the box that you had entered. If you need to update something, if you notice that you entered some incorrect dimensions or weight or something like that. You can also print a pack list here if you wanted to for your warehouse. So let's go ahead and continue and confirm for the carrier. And now here, is where, if you're really familiar with your logistics and you know that these 30 boxes can fit on one pallet, this is where you can update that information. So the first thing you got to do is set your contact. And then that's going to allow you to get down here to the pallet configuration. So if you knew for sure that this could fit on one pallet, we can remove that one pallet, and we'll say this is going to be 1,200 pounds, 72 inches high. No, it's not stackable, and we'll confirm that. And now you're going to see our shipping costs should go down. And it actually went up because it changed it to Thursday. No, actually, it might have went up because it's a taller pallet. Let's take a look if we go back and edit that here again. So let's change that back to 60 inches, add another, and confirm. So the 2 pallets is actually a little bit cheaper, which is strange. That's not usually how that's going to work out. But in this case, it did work out that it's cheaper to do it on 2 pallets. So if you wanted to, you could go ahead and do it in 2 pallets or get it down to 1. Usually when you get to 1, it's cheaper, but it may have been because of the high weight and size of the pallet, it bumped it up into another zone. So you kind of got to play with it when you're working with logistics. It can be very difficult. And you kind of got to play with the different options to see where you're going to get the best rates. Now you can select the date that you want the pickup to happen on. And sometimes these rates will be different. In this case, they're all the same, but sometimes they'll be different. So I'm just going to select next Friday so that, this doesn't actually get picked up on us. And it's going to select a carrier for you. And you can hit change carrier and select a different carrier. Right now, all they do is give you these abbreviations. And it's not 100% which abbreviations are which. But I'm going to do my best to try to put together a page with what these abbreviations are. So you can look in the notes down below as well for that link to what each of these carriers are. So if you're looking for a specific carrier, we'll create a sheet for you and get that as accurate as possible. So check that link out down below. But I'm just going to stick with the cheapest one there, which is what they automatically select. We're going to confirm carrier and pallet information. All right, so now we are to the print pallet section. And here they do have the 4x6 thermal printing and a couple others as well. We'll go ahead and print the pallet label. And you can see these pallet labels are very similar to FBA pallet labels if you've seen those before, except for it says AWD here instead of FBA. So you'd slap one of these on each side of the pallet. And then you can download your bill of lading here and provide that to your warehouse. So just a normal bill of lading. And then you're going to scroll down and you can view the tracking details. So that is pretty much it with creating the shipment. If we click on the view tracking details, it should have taken us to a tracking page, but it did not take us anywhere. So if we go to our shipping queue, we now have the AWD shipments right here. And these are our 4 other AWD shipments that we've done so far. So this is the newest one right at the top here that we're doing. Now I'm going to go back in there right away and cancel that so we don't get charged for that. I just went back to the page here that we were working on. Cancel shipment, and charges. You've only got an hour though, so 57 minutes. So you got to do it very quickly. It's a lot shorter than with FBA. So now that is canceled here. So now let's go back to AWD again. And we can now click on track shipments. That's going to take us to that same page where we can see the tracking of the shipments. And if you track any of these shipments, it's going to show you all of the tracking events, which doesn't really work very good with pallet shipments, individual tracking, but you can see the basic status of it as it's going through, just like your FBA shipments. Now, if we go back to AWD again, and by the way, if you run into any issues or anything with this, if you need help with AWD or with your logistics, or making sure you're not spending too much money on your storage fees, long-term storage fees, anything to do with logistics, feel free to get your free storage cost audit from us. Just jump on over to AmazonStoragePros.com, click this button, get your free storage cost audit, and you can schedule a call with us to have us do a storage cost audit, do a full audit of all your logistics, see if you're spending too much possibly on logistics and how you can decrease your logistic costs. So feel free to do that if you wanted any help with any of this along the way, or just to ask us a question, shoot us an email, leave a comment on this video. So let's go ahead and go back to Amazon Warehousing Distribution here. And if we click on the View Inventory button, we're going to be able to view all of the inventory that we currently have inside of AWD. So it's a little bit different than your FBA storage screen, but essentially we've got all of the SKUs in AWD here. So we've got 4 SKUs, which is 4,150 units. And then we've got one SKU that's in transfer from AWD to FBA currently of 100 units. And we've got no SKUs with errors. Now, if we scroll down here, you've got all the information for your products over here on the left. You've got how many units are available in AWD and how many cases that is. If you click on the details here, pretty much shows you the same information, just in a little bit more blown up of a screen. You've got how many units are currently inbound to AWD, how many units are currently outbound to FBA. And if we click on the details, you can see the actual shipments that are going into FBA. We could click on those and track those. Those are just going to be very similar to your normal FBA inbound shipments. And then currently available in FBA. So it's really nice that they show you this right here so you can very quickly see how many units you have in there to see if you want to replenish. And it's guesstimating how many days of supply are currently in there. And then on this last one, whether or not you have the auto replenishment turned on. So you can turn it on, which is the default, or you can turn it off if you don't want it to auto replenish and you want to be stocking things manually. Now, when you first get your products in here, it's going to be kind of a learning process, so it's not going to be perfect. So you're going to want to keep an eye on this to make sure the auto replenish isn't letting your stock run down too much in FBA, and maybe send some stock in manually to make sure you stay in stock until the algorithm kind of figures out your process, your product. Or if you're going to have a big sale that you know of, and of course AWD is not going to know, if you're going to be doing a lightning deal or some kind of promotion outside of Amazon or something like that, you can come in here and send some stock from AWD to FBA. So if I wanted to send more units of one of these, I could hit the button here and it's going to take us to that same screen we just went through. But if we click the drop down, we can do move from AWD. So this is going to be moving from AWD to FBA, Walmart, retail partner, whoever it might be. Or if maybe you had to send a case to yourself to take some photos or something like that. So we would click on move from AWD, which is going to open up the replenishment screen here. And so on this screen, you're basically going to tell it, I want to replenish FBA, or I want to replenish outside of Amazon, and you would select which location you want to move from. So these are all the locations currently that we have stock in AWD. And then we would select the destination channel. So right now we don't have any destination channels in there. But if we click that, this would allow us to add a location to send stock through. So you could add your Walmart location in there. You could add your retail partner in there, your house in there, a 3PL, whatever the case, wherever you got to send the stock to, you can add that in here and add the channel so that you can send to that location. So I'm going to go ahead and add a test location in here. All right, we'll add that channel. And then this is where we would enter the address for that destination. So I'm going to set up a test one here real quick. Let's see, can they accept UPS? Yes. Can pallets be accepted? Yes. Let's add that destination. All right, so now we've got that destination in here. I'm going to go back here and reload off Amazon. And let's see where we've got our stock. So we've got some stock there. So you're going to have different stock in different locations that you can send if you wanted to send off of Amazon. So if you wanted to do that, let's say we're going to send 5 cases. And remember, this is cases, not units. So we'll confirm that. And then review move request. All right, so we've got the shipment here. And it's asking me for additional information if I wanted to add a PO number. If you had a purchase order number, like if this is a retail partner, they might have a PO number that you are sending it to. If we wanted to add labels, we have to update our settings here. So let's go ahead and update our settings. So the reason it's not allowing me to add labels is because I'm using standard carrier labels. So I'm going to switch that to shipment labels. And now if I do this again, let's refresh that. Review move request. We're going to do UPS. And then here is where we can upload our carton labels. So I'm just going to select one there. And then we would go ahead and submit the request. Submitted orders cannot be canceled. And they're just telling us here that they are not willing to label individual units for you. But they will apply these labels. So essentially, if you want to apply your own labels, you got to provide your own shipping labels and the box labels. So they have to be in one for the boxes. So if you wanted to provide Walmart shipping labels, you need to get all the labels printed from Walmart, upload them here into the carton labels, and then Amazon will apply them to the individual boxes before sending them out. So you can't combine using Amazon shipping for this with applying other labels. It's got to be one or the other. Now I'm going to cancel this because we can't cancel this if it's submitted. So I'm going to cancel and not send that through. But if we want to do an FBA replenishment, it's very similar, except for you don't have to select between which warehouses, you can just pick the products right all on one screen and how many cases you want to move. And we'll say confirm, 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 confirm. And then review move request. And we would confirm the move request. And now one thing to note is that going from AWD to FBA or AWD to a third party is going to take approximately 1 to 2 weeks for it to ship out and move. So this is not super speedy shipping. Now, it doesn't always take that long. They say approximately, now this is very similar to FBA when they're shipping stuff. They always give longer than what it typically is going to be. But that is something to keep in mind. This isn't going to be super rush shipping. This is storage that's designed to restock your FBA primarily and drip feed it in and work in conjunction with your FBA. But if you're going to send manually, just keep that in mind. It's not going to be super fast. So you want to make sure that you're planning ahead. Now, again, I'm not going to go ahead and confirm that, but if we confirmed that, it would take you to a summary screen of the units that you are sending into FBA. So I'm going to hit go back so that we don't accidentally send that. All right, so that's the move from storage screen and the inventory screen. So let's go ahead and jump back to AWD. So we're done with number 1, 2, and 3. And lastly, we've pretty much already looked at this as well, but we've got track replenishments. So these are the replenishments. The screen looks a little bit different than the other screen that we were at. But these are your replenishments that you've sent in from AWD to Amazon, FBA, or to a third-party platform if you did that as well. So that is pretty much everything to do with Amazon warehousing and distribution. If you want to get access to any of the reports, they've got some of the different reports down here, the fees reports, the inbound shipment reports as well that you can look at. And then if you have any feedback or comments, questions, they've got an email address down here as well. But that is pretty much it with AWD. It's simple, but not necessarily easy if you've never done it before. So hopefully this video has helped you. Again, AmazonStoragePros.com. If you need any help with any of this, we can do a coaching call. We can get you that free storage cost audit and show you exactly where you're spending too much in your logistics in Amazon, inbound shipping fees, things like that, and where you should be. So we'll look at your business and tell you what your target percentage should be for your storage costs, for your shipping costs, for your inbound fees and things like that. So take advantage of our free storage cost audit. Jump on over AmazonStoragePros.com, click the link in the description, and have us give you that storage costs audit to see where you're spending too much. And if it's a good fit, maybe we can help you with your logistics as well. What we can do with our services is we can do one-on-one consulting packages, but we also have advisory support packages where you have us in your back pocket anytime you have questions. Does this shipment look good? Should I send this to AWD? Should I send it to FBA? Should I send it 3PL? Should I send it AGL? Whatever the case may be, if you're coming from overseas, how's the best way to do that? We can help you ongoing with that, with real-time, same-day service with any questions you might have. And then we also have full-service logistics packages where you can say goodbye to having to do anything with logistics. We take over all of it. We're your fractional logistics manager and handle everything to do with logistics for you. So if you're tired of logistics, you don't want to deal with it anymore, reach out to us, or at least reach out to us, get your free storage cost audit. We'd be happy to show you where you're spending too much money, or maybe let you know you're doing an awesome job. Don't change anything. Keep doing it. You don't need our help, whatever the case may be. So with that, Hopefully that has helped you. This is Todd Welch signing off. Happy selling, everybody.